So the next thing is differential. So we know that, look at this. This is a function fx. Okay, this graph is the function fx, and there is a point c. So the point on the graph is c comma fc, right? C comma fc is the y value, right? So what is the equation of the tangent line there? It is y minus y1 is fc equals to m is the slope, right? F prime of c times x minus c. So that's the equation of this tangent line I draw. That is the equation of that tangent line. Now, what I want to do is I want to pick another point close to C. Okay, that point is C plus delta x. Why did I pick delta x? It's a very small number. Since it is added to the x coordinate, that's why I said C plus delta x. That's how I denote. Okay. So that c plus delta x can be on the left side, that delta x will be negative sign at that time, okay? Or you can write c minus delta x here, but it's the same thing. So at c plus delta x, at the point close to c, that is the point on the curve, right? So the curve is c plus delta x, that is the x coordinate, and the y coordinate is f at c plus delta x, right? That is the point on the curve. Now I want to know how much is the height of the function at c plus delta x. To do that, what you do is you find the equation of tangent. You found the equation of tangent line already. That's the equation of the tangent line, right? And then plug in that x and then y. So this is like x on the tangent line. This is like y on the tangent line. What you get is you replace y by f of c plus delta x minus fc as it is, and equals to f prime of c is there. So x is basically c plus delta x, right? C plus delta x minus c. Now there is positive c and negative c, you cancel out. And then on the left, you got this f c plus delta x minus fc equals to f prime of c times, this is delta x, right? Although there is plus, you have, this is parentheses, so that's times delta x. Now you denote that quantity by delta x. If you denote that quantity by delta x, then you can write that delta y equals to f prime of c times delta x. Okay, so if delta x is small enough, meaning if that point is close to c, then the delta x is very small. In that case, we denote the delta x by dx, and similarly we denote the delta y by dy. Okay, we say the limiting condition, limiting position, meaning when the delta x is close to 0, very small, close to 0, at that time we denote the delta x by dx, and then delta y by dy. Okay, so this becomes dy equals to f prime of c times the dx. This is called differential. Okay, so in the homework problem, there are two things that you will be asked. One is find the differential dy. How do I find the differential dy at a point? Is you do f prime at c. C will be given like x equals to 2, x equals to 4, like that. So the f prime of c, f prime at c times the dx. So dx you will take same as the delta x, so not a problem, okay? So, and then sometimes they ask you to find out the difference, that is delta y. What is the value of delta y? Delta y is f c plus delta x minus fc. That's how you find out delta y. Or in general form, instead of c, you can write x, and then whatever x value is given, you will plug in there, right? So dy is f prime of x times dx, and delta y is f of x plus delta x minus f of x. So these are the two things you will be asked to find out in the homework problem. Okay, let's take one example. So find dy and delta y from y equals to x to the 4 plus 6 at x equals to -1, and delta x is given 0.01. So this delta x is basically same as dx, right? So how do I do that is, to find out dy, we need f prime of x times dx. So you need to find out the derivative, right? So solution is here. You have f of x is equals to x to the 4 plus 6, right? That's the given y or fx. So what is f prime of x? F prime of x is, can you find the derivative of this? This is like 4x cubed, right? 4x to the third. So to find out the dy, you need to find out f prime of x at c, right? So what is f prime at -1 then? F prime of -1 will be basically 4 times -1 to the cube, right? -1 to the cube. So this will be -4. You understand that? So therefore dy is given as f prime at c times dx, right? So you got f prime at c is -1 here. So f prime of -1 is -4 times the dx is 0.01, right? This is times. So if you plug in the value, you will get -0.04. This is dy. Let's find out delta y. What is the formula to find out delta y? Delta y is basically f of c plus delta x minus f at c, right? So what is a c? C is f. Let's do f. C is basically -1 plus delta x is 0.01 and then minus f at -1, right? So how much is that? This will be f at -1 plus 0.01 will be -0.99 and then minus f at -1, f at -1. So what is f at -0.99? You plug in here, right? Because you plug in here or here. So x is -0.99. That will be basically, let me write down here. This will be -0.99 to the 4 plus 6 and then minus f at -1 will be -1 to the 4 plus 6, right? You do the same thing, just plug in -1. So if you simplify this, or you can use calculator for that, you get -0.0394, -0.0394. You see that you got almost the same value, -0.04. This is for dy, and for delta y you got almost -0.04 if you round up, right? So you got almost the same values for dy and delta y for this problem. Okay, thank you guys.